Hey everyone, it's Chris here with Backyard Pitmaster. Today I'm making poor man's burnt ends. Now, if you've never had a burnt ends are made by smoking an entire brisket and then separating the fatty part, which is known as the point, from the lean part, which is known as the flat. The point is then cut into cubes, tossed into a sauce, and then smoked for a little bit longer until it becomes really moist and tender to the point where it will melt in your mouth. If you don't have a long time to smoke a brisket, you can instead smoke a chuck roast and turn that into burnt ends. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do today. Okay, so I'm starting with about 5 3/4 pounds of chuck roast. I just got it from Costco. You can see it's got a lot of decent fat marbling throughout the chuck roast, so it'll make it nice and tender. What I'm gonna do to prep this is I'm going to start off by coating this with a little bit of just plain yellow mustard. The reason I'm using the mustard is just more to serve as a binder. You won't taste it. Actually, the flavor of the yellow mustard will not come through in the meat. It's a common misconception. But what I do find is the yellow mustard helps to kind of develop that crust, but also helps with binding and ensuring that the dry rub sticks to the meat. So next, I'm going to go ahead and add the dry rub. The dry rub that I'm using today, it's just a store-bought dry rub. It's something that was picked up for me as a gift. It's called Thundering Longhorn Beef Rub. It's got a nice mix of some black pepper, some cumin, ancho chilies, espresso, oregano, garlic, and salt. Now you can use your own, whatever your favorite rub for this, for beef is. Again, most people just stick with standard salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. That's fine. I just wanted to add a little bit something different for these. Okay, so now that these are rubbed down, it's time to put them in the smoker. We're going to smoke them between 225 and 250 until they reach an internal temperature of 165. Once they reach 165, I'm going to wrap them up in foil and put them back on the smoker until they reach an internal temperature of 195. Okay, so these reached the internal temperature that I was looking for. So now I've let them rest a couple of minutes, and so I'm going to slice them into cubes. So I'm just going to cut these into about 1.5 inch cubes or so, 1 to 1.5 inch cubes. See, I'm cutting these thicker pieces in half a little bit. Okay, so now that I've cut up all the cubes, next I'm going to add some barbecue sauce. So this is just store-bought Sweet Baby Ray's. Probably I feel like it's the best store-bought sauce. All I really want to do is just add enough to make sure that I can give it a nice kind of a glaze on the outside. Next, I'm going to add a little bit of brown sugar just to sweeten it up. So the spice rub that I used has a little bit of a bite to it, so I want to try and balance that out with a little bit of this sweet here. Next, I'm just going to kind of mix this up a little bit. I didn't feel like putting on more gloves, so I'm just going to bare hand it. So we got a nice little coating of barbecue sauce. Then my next step is I've cut up some pads of butter, so I'm going to just lay these pads of butter in here. The butter is going to add a little bit of extra fat, quite a bit more flavor, and a little bit more richness. So now what I'm going to do is pop these back on the smoker. They're going to go for about another hour or so. And I'll kind of go out there and just sort of stir them up periodically about every 20-30 minutes or so. Okay, so we're about to do a quick taste test. We've got our friend Sage over here too. I don't know that Sage has ever had my barbecue before, so I think this is probably gonna be like the first time, but yeah, we got Mel as well. So the burnt ends are done. This is what they look like. So now we're gonna have them do their first taste test. So ladies, go ahead and grab one.
All right.
Okay. And
look how juicy that is. Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
The flavoring. Perfect combination. Salty, sweet, super tender, melt in your mouth. The best kind of fat. For me, it's the texture.
Yeah.
I love the texture. It's spot on.